After years of standing by Kirk through lies and betrayal, Rasheeda is now the one under fire, caught with another man. And Kirk's explosive reaction has everyone stunned. The cameras didn't catch everything. But what they did capture was enough to set social media on fire. Rasheeda, the woman fans have watched for years hold her family down through thick and thin, was spotted stepping out with a man who was definitely not Kirk. The photos were blurry at first, the kind that leave room for denial, excuses, and damage control. But within hours, a clearer picture surfaced. And with it, the speculation exploded. The man she was with wasn't just a friend. The way he leaned in, the way she smiled, the body language. It told a story that was impossible to ignore. Atlanta was buzzing, blogs were scrambling for details. And Kirk Frost, Rasheeda's husband of over 2 decades, was suddenly the center of a scandal he never saw coming. For years, Rasheeda has been the one forgiving, mending, rebuilding. Fans remember the long nights she cried over Kirk's betrayals, the cheating scandals, the secret baby, the humiliating headlines that tore through her pride and privacy like wildfire. But through it all, she stayed. She worked on her marriage. She made people believe in second chances even when they didn't want to. But now, the tables had turned. And for the first time, Kirk was silent. Sources close to the couple say he found out, like everyone else through the blogs, that he was blindsided, devastated, even embarrassed. He allegedly stormed out of Frost Bistro when confronted with the rumors, refusing to answer any questions. His phone was turned off for hours. And when he finally resurfaced, his eyes said it all. Rage, confusion, heartbreak. Meanwhile, Rasheeda didn't post anything. No stories, no tweets, no explanations. And that silence only made the fire grow. Fans began asking, was this revenge? Had Rasheeda finally reached her breaking point? Or was this something else? A quiet separation that had been brewing behind closed doors for months, maybe even years. The man in question, a local entrepreneur named Marcus, is no stranger to Atlanta's elite circles. He's been seen at exclusive events, fashion shows, and even dining with some of Rasheeda's known associates. Some claim he's just a business partner. Others insist the two have been getting closer for a while. And this public outing was no accident. Insiders from Love and Hip Hop are staying tight-lipped. But whispers say cameras might have caught some of the drama already. If that's true, the world might be in for one of the most explosive seasons yet. But until then, streets are doing the talking and the theories are getting wilder by the minute. Kirk's friends have reportedly urged him to handle this privately, warning that retaliation or emotional outbursts could backfire. But knowing Kirk, it's only a matter of time before something snaps. After all, this is a man who's been called everything from a manipulator to a narcissist. But even his harshest critics didn't expect him to be on the receiving end of betrayal, not like this. What's even more complicated is the fact that Kirk and Rasheeda are business partners. Their brands are intertwined. From their clothing boutique to Frost Bistro, they've built an empire on the image of resilience and unity. If that crumbles, it's not just their marriage on the line, it's everything. Fans are torn. Some are defending Rasheeda, saying it's high time she had a moment of her own, a moment to step out of Kirk's shadow and feel desired again. Others are slamming her, accusing her of hypocrisy and double standards. She dragged Kirk for cheating. Now look, one comment read, she's no better. But maybe it's not that simple. Maybe this isn't about cheating at all. Maybe it's about a woman who's finally done being the strong one. A woman who, after years of disappointment, just wants peace and is no longer afraid of what that looks like. Still, the way it unfolded, so public, so dramatic, has left even her closest allies speechless. Some insiders believe this might not be an isolated incident, that Rasheeda and Marcus have been spotted together before, just never this close, never this obvious. And what about their kids, their family, their legacy? Kirk was reportedly seen having a tense conversation with their son Kai, who looked visibly upset. Eyewitnesses at the restaurant say Kirk was pacing, talking loud, gesturing wildly. One source even claims he said, "I gave her everything, everything. And this is what she does." The betrayal, or at least the perception of betrayal, has hit him harder than anyone expected. But the real question now is, what happens next? Because Rasheeda's silence speaks volumes. She hasn't denied it. She hasn't explained it, and that quiet might be louder than any scream. Is she protecting something or someone? Is she waiting for the storm to pass? Or is she preparing for something bigger? Whatever it is, one thing is clear. The Rasheeda and Kirk saga has taken a sharp, unexpected turn, and the fallout might be more than either of them can handle. The silence didn't last long. Just when fans started thinking Rasheeda might let the rumors die down, she reappeared, not with a denial, not with an explanation, but with something far more cryptic. A single Instagram story posted in black with white text that read, "People love to forget what they put you through." No tag, no caption, no context. But everyone knew who it was aimed at. Kirk saw it too. And apparently, he didn't take it lightly. Sources say he stormed into their shared boutique the same day. Not to check inventory, not to greet fans, but to confront Rasheeda in person. The employees reportedly cleared the store, locking the doors for a private meeting. What happened behind those doors isn't on camera, but witnesses say shouting was heard from outside. And it wasn't just Kirk. Rasheeda, usually calm and composed, allegedly lost it. Years of bottled-up resentment came pouring out. She screamed about sacrifices, humiliation, being made to look weak on national television. She reportedly told Kirk he had no right to act betrayed after everything he'd put her through. The lies, the affairs, the pain. And when he tried to twist it back on her, she shut him down cold. "Don't forget who forgave you," she said, according to someone close to the couple. "Don't forget who saved this marriage." Kirk apparently didn't take kindly to that. He fired back, accusing her of planning this and using the media to flip the narrative. He's convinced the photos weren't an accident, that Rasheeda knew they'd be seen, that she wanted him to find out that way. And the more he thinks about it, the more it eats at him. What no one expected, though, was what came next. Later that night, Kirk went live on Instagram, unfiltered, emotional, and clearly unstable. Thousands tuned in as he sat in his car, eyes bloodshot, voice trembling. "Y'all think you know what's going on?" he said. You don't. I've been holding this family together for years. And now people acting like I'm the villain." He paused, shaking his head. "I gave up everything for her. I changed. I worked on myself. But maybe that wasn't enough." The comments section exploded. Some people praised him for being raw, vulnerable. Others dragged him for trying to play the victim after everything Rasheeda had endured. But the real shock came when he ended the live by saying, "If she wants out, I won't stop her this time." That line hit like a bomb dot. Was he admitting the marriage was over? That he'd finally given up? Fans were divided. Some believed it was just an emotional outburst, not a final decision. Others thought it was the beginning of the end, a soft goodbye from a man who knows he's lost the battle. Meanwhile, Rasheeda stayed silent. But things didn't stay quiet for long. Marcus, the man Rasheeda was seen with, finally made a move of his own. He didn't go to the blogs. He didn't release a statement. Instead, he posted a photo of himself alone, dressed in all black, captioned simply, "I don't chase clout, I mind my business." But fans weren't buying the humble act. Some accused him of being a homewrecker. Others defended him, saying Rasheeda is grown and has the right to move on if she's unhappy. What complicated everything even more was a leak. A screenshot of alleged texts between Rasheeda and Marcus, where she vented about feeling invisible, about wanting to be seen, heard, valued. "I don't want to live like this anymore." One text read, "I don't want to keep pretending. If real, those messages paint a very different picture of Rasheeda. Not as a cheater, but as a woman suffocating in silence. Someone who stayed in a broken relationship long after her heart had left it. Someone who might have finally found peace, or at least a glimpse of it, in someone new. But Kirk wasn't ready to let the world see that version. Insiders claim he's pushing producers at Love and Hip Hop to cut any scenes that make him look weak, that he wants to control the story before the next season drops. He's allegedly furious that Rasheeda might be coming out of this looking like the victim again. Or worse, it's like the one who found love after pain. And then there's the business. Frost Bistro has seen a drop in foot traffic since the scandal broke. Some customers say they're staying out of it. But others have openly taken sides, refusing to support a man they once admired, or a woman they now see as disloyal. The couple's clothing brand, too, is facing backlash. Sales are reportedly down, and the joint Instagram account hasn't posted in days. One former employee, who asked to remain anonymous, said the tension between Kirk and Rasheeda had been building for months. They put on a good front for the cameras, she said. But behind the scenes, they barely spoke. It was all business. No love, no warmth, just contracts and schedules. If that's true, maybe the separation didn't start with Marcus. Maybe it started a long time ago, with wounds that never healed, with trust that never returned, with a marriage that looked whole on the outside but was crumbling on the inside. Fans are starting to piece it together now. Rewatching old interviews, noticing how often Rasheeda avoided certain questions, how Kirk deflected with jokes, how distant they seemed at events. It's almost like the signs were always there. People just didn't want to see them. And now the truth is impossible to ignore. Rasheeda hasn't commented on the texts. Marcus hasn't confirmed or denied the relationship. Kirk hasn't made another live video, but the silence is louder than ever. Every moment they stay quiet, the story builds itself, fueled by fan theories, gossip blogs, and years of unresolved pain. There's also been talk that Rasheeda has moved out of their home, or at least is spending more time at her mother's. Paparazzi caught her leaving a gated community in a separate car, without her wedding ring. That detail didn't go unnoticed. Kirk, meanwhile, has been seen alone. No friends, no entourage. Just a man walking through Atlanta like a ghost of who he used to be. And if the rumors are true, he's been meeting with divorce lawyers quietly, cautiously, trying to figure out what a separation would really mean. For the brand, for the money, for the legacy. It's heartbreaking. Not just because of the scandal, but because of the history. These are two people who built an empire from nothing, who survived the harshest storms only to now find themselves lost in one of their own making. But maybe this was inevitable. Maybe love alone wasn't enough. Maybe forgiveness came with conditions and they were never really met. Or maybe this is just the beginning of the real story. It didn't take long for things to hit rock bottom. Within a week of the scandal exploding online, Kirk Frost officially unfollowed Rasheeda on all social media platforms, something he hadn't done even during their most painful public fights in the past. It wasn't just petty, it was personal. People noticed. The fans noticed. And Rasheeda noticed. When asked about it by a reporter outside Frost Bistro, Kirk simply said, "I don't want to keep seeing someone pretend like everything is fine when it's not." That sentence alone sent shockwaves through the fandom. Was Rasheeda pretending? Or was Kirk now rewriting the story to frame himself as the wounded one again? But the silence didn't last long. Rasheeda finally broke her silence with a jaw-dropping sit-down interview. No promo, no warning. Just a raw, unfiltered conversation with a major platform where she looked straight into the camera and said, "I kept forgiving him because I thought it would protect my family. But what I didn't realize was I was losing myself in the process." She didn't deny the photo with Marcus. She didn't hide the pain in her voice, and she didn't ask for sympathy Instead, she spoke like a woman who had endured more than most and was now finally choosing herself. She admitted that she and Kirk had been emotionally disconnected for over a year, that counseling stopped working, that the love had turned into duty, obligation, survival. "I stayed for the image," she confessed. "I stayed for the brand. I stayed because I thought we could fix it. But after a while, I realized, you can't fix someone who doesn't think they're broken." She didn't say Marcus's name. She didn't confirm a relationship. But she did say this: "I've been loyal to a fault. And now I'm learning what it means to be loyal to myself." That was the moment everything shifted. The fans who were once confused, divided, now started seeing Rasheeda in a different light. Not as someone who betrayed her marriage, but as someone who finally found the strength to walk away from a cycle of pain. The same fans who once begged her to leave Kirk during his cheating scandal were now applauding her courage for doing just that. Even if it came with controversy, Kirk, however, wasn't clapping. He responded in a way only Kirk could, with more deflection. In a now-deleted post, he wrote, "Funny how people spin the truth when they get caught. But it's cool. Real ones, no. No names." But everyone knew who it was aimed at still. The damage was done. The divorce rumors were no longer rumors. Multiple outlets confirmed that Rasheeda had quietly filed for legal separation just days after the interview. And according to insiders, this wasn't a publicity stunt. This was the real thing. Lawyers had been involved for weeks. Papers had been drawn. Assets were already being separated. And yet, there was no celebration, no champagne, no flashy girls, nights, no new man being paraded online. Rasheeda was grieving. Not the man, not the relationship, but the years she gave, the dreams she sacrificed, the identity she buried to make that marriage work. In one candid moment caught by paparazzi, she was seen sitting in her car outside her boutique, head resting on the steering wheel, tears running down her face. It was raw, was real, and it was heartbreaking. Meanwhile, Kirk started spiraling. Instead of stepping back, reflecting, or healing, he started posting cryptic messages, bitter quotes. Even old photos of them together with captions like, "Some people forget who held them down when they had nothing." It became clear he wasn't just angry, he was unraveling. Friends close to Kirk say he's been taking this separation hard, that deep down he never believed Rasheeda would leave, that he always thought she'd forgive him again. But this time was different. This time she didn't just pack a bag. She packed her soul. And she left behind the version of herself that accepted less than she deserved. The internet reacted like wildfire. Some supported Rasheeda. Others still questioned her timing. But the most powerful reaction came from women who had lived through the same thing, who saw themselves in her strength, in her silence, in her decision to finally choose peace over performance. Then came the final blow. Rasheeda posted a video. Montage clips of her and Kirk through the years set to a somber song. No anger, no pettiness, just memories, laughter, pain, a goodbye without words. In the caption, she wrote, "Love doesn't always last forever, but growth never stops. I wish him healing, and I wish myself freedom." It was the softest, most powerful ending to a love story that had captured and crushed so many hearts over the years. It wasn't a scandal anymore. It was a funeral. Not for a person, but for a dream. And as the dust settled, the truth became clear. Rasheeda had endured years of public humiliation, infidelity, and emotional neglect. She forgave, she rebuilt. She stood by her man when the world told her not to. But in the end, even the strongest woman can only take so much. The image of her caught with another man wasn't the betrayal the media tried to spin. It was a symptom of a deeper wound. A wound Kirk had created long ago. A wounded Rasheeda had been bandaging in silence while still trying to smile for the cameras and walking away. She didn't betray her marriage. She honored herself. As for Kirk, whether he ever truly saw her worth remains a question only he can answer. But one thing's for sure, he lost a real one. And no amount of Instagram lives or throwback photos can change that. In the end, Rasheeda didn't break her family. She broke free from a version of love that was never really loving her back. And that is not a scandal. That is survival. The world watched the fairy tale collapse, brick by brick. But in those broken pieces, Rasheeda finally found something she hadn't had in years. Her voice, and now, with or without a man by her side, she's standing tall, not as someone's wife, not as someone's storyline, but as a woman who reclaimed her life. This wasn't the ending anyone expected, but maybe it's the beginning she always deserved. If this story shook you like it shook us, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more explosive updates and deep dives into the biggest celebrity scandals and emotional turning points. We're talking real stories, real drama, and raw truths that the blogs only scratch the surface of. What's your take on Rasheeda finally walking away? Was this long overdue, or do you think there's still hope for reconciliation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and your voice matters in this conversation. And if you want to stay one step ahead of the gossip, turn on that notification bell so you never miss a moment when the next bombshell drops. Whether it's secret affairs, emotional breakdowns, or shocking betrayals, we bring you the unfiltered truth, fast, bold, and dramatic. This isn't just a channel. It's your front row seat to the realest stories in hip-hop and Hollywood. So what are you waiting for? Like, comment, share, and subscribe, because the drama never sleeps, and neither do we.